Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. The All-22 of Sunday's game between the Steelers and Jets just came out a little bit ago on Monday, and the first thing I wanted to do was, of course, watch Kenny Pickett's NFL debut, playing the second half of that game, going 10-13 with 2 rushing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So today we're going to walk through the tape, through the good, the bad, highs, lows, just everything we can comment on when it comes to Kenny Pickett to see how he did in game number 1. This will probably be a bit longer of a video, but hopefully it is worth it. All right, we're going to start things off with one of Kenny Pickett's first plays. This is going to be an RPO. A lot of RPOs Matt Canada called in the second half of this game. I'm not quite sure if that was the same story in the first half or not. So this is a handoff here to Najee Harris. And what to look for here, just watch the communication with Deontay Johnson. You're seeing Pickett. I'm not sure if this call came in from the OC before the headset was turned off, or if this was Pickett on his own accord. You're seeing the cornerback here rolled up, so that may be Pickett telling Johnson to adjust his route. So just a minor thing there. You're seeing Pickett take some charge, make a call, maybe change Johnson's route on this play, and execute a good fake at the end of this RPO as well, finishing that play, but ultimately handing the ball off to Najee Harris. To start the second half, Pittsburgh came out run, and then faced fourth and about a half yard, and Mike Tomlin making the decision to go for it on a quarterback sneak, and we're going to see Kenny Pickett pick up the first down here. Basically, the rule of a quarterback sneak is find the bubble. Find where the defense is not. Find where they're not aligned, what gap they're not into. In this play, there is no defense alignment aligned in this A gap right here to the right side. And that's where Kenny Pickett's going to go. Pretty obvious. Anyone can see, pretty intuitive. Don't go into the A gap where there's big number 98 or whatever number he's wearing here. And Pickett's going to sneak forward and get the first down. So a small play, but just an explanation of quarterback sneaks. Find the bubble, and that's what Kenny Pickett did. And he picked up the first down. And we're going to see a nice little way to go from James Daniels. Watch Daniels right here. A nice job. Good job, buddy. Way to pick up the first down and move those sticks. Kenny Pickett will remember his first career pass attempt for all the wrong reasons. First pass is an interception, the first Steelers quarterback to do so since Jim Miller in 1995. Pre-snap motion here, trying to identify zone versus man coverage, but ultimately just watching this too high quarters looking shell and Kenny Pickett trying to throw this deep crossing route to Chase Claypool. Overall, I don't really have a lot of problems with Pickett on this play. I think you would like to lead him a bit more, and this pass is a bit underthrown. You would like to be able to lead Claypool a bit more to the sidelines and hopefully put that safety in a more trailing position. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a 5'8 safety LaMarcus Joyner against a 6'4 Chase Claypool. That's a situation that Claypool has to win, to play big, to play to his size, and he does not. So could Pickett have done some small things better on this play? Sure, but at the end of the day, this is a very winnable, contested situation for Chase Claypool, and that's why Kenny Pickett threw the football. He saw the matchup. He saw, the Jets DBs, besides Sauce Gardner, they're not a lot of big guys, or a lot of smaller guys overall in the secondary at cornerback and at safety here with Joyner, and that's a matchup you want to take advantage of, receiver on safety in general, and then big receiver on small safety, certainly a matchup that you want to go after. The thing I take issue with is some fans and people said this is a double coverage throw that Pickett threw into double coverage. This is not double coverage. This is a safety here, kind of in that quarters depth, turning his hips, protecting this side of the field. This is not double coverage. The safety ends up coming over because the ball was a bit underthrown and picks the pass off. That's Jordan Whitehead, but I do not call that double coverage at all. Again, should Pickett have let him a bit more? Sure, this is not his best throw, but overall, that's a situation Claypool has to win. So I think it's a good read overall. Really nothing else available for Kenny Pickett like the aggression. Just an unfortunate outcome. Kenny Pickett getting really good at quarterback sneaks. And just like before, the last fourth down, this is a quarterback sneak over the goal line. Find the bubble. Find where that bubble's at. Into the A-gap here. This one a little more physical to try to get over a good push from his teammates to get Pickett into the end zone. But that is the touchdown, the first rushing score that Pickett had, finding the bubble and muscling his way in with the help of some teammates. Really nice rep here by Kenny Pickett to open up the following drive. Pittsburgh in 12 personnel, so 1 running back and 2 tight ends, and of course that means 2 receivers. Pat Freiermuth going in motion. This is going to be split zone, a play fake, a split zone action here, faking the split zone run action here with Zach Gentry, peeling off into the flats. Again, Pittsburgh, generally the read's going to be low to high, so first read's going to be the flat, and then if that's not available, you're going to work to more downfield progressions. You see Gentry get kind of bumped here by the defender on this play. Never really quite opens up, and Pickett a really good job here to progress, to look downfield. What the concept is to the bottom is what's called a sail concept, a 3-level half-field concept with a flat defender, a corner route, which is what Freiermuth is running, and a go route, a 9 route, which is what Deontay Johnson is running, designed to really stress the defense, especially zone defense. And you're getting zone defense here. You're getting the motion, trying to identify man versus zone. Not always 100% clue or indicator, but it helps a little bit for a rookie quarterback. And Pickett a good job here to square his shoulders and make a really strong, accurate throw complete to Freiermuth, who makes a nice catch. So we'll look at it from the end zone view as well. That throw to the left can be a little bit tougher for these right-handed quarterbacks, generally speaking, but a nice job here by Pickett to open up and clear his hips and make that good throw on the run with some pressure as well. And so that's a good play there by Pickett with his eyes, with the read, with the progression. Again, going back to the sail concept, we'll look at it here. 3 levels, flat, corner, and then a 9 route. The cornerback gets run off here by the 9 route. It's zone coverage. And so you're going to hit that corner route where the cornerback is vacating. And that's the read, that's the throw. And a nice job here by Kenny Pickett. Later in the drive, an RPO, another one from Matt Canada. And this one, I don't know if there's miscommunication or confusion. It just does not look right. You're going to see Claypool on the curl and Freiermuth on the quick route to the flat. And that's too bunched up. That does not look like the way it should be designed. I don't know if that's on Pickett or Claypool. My guess overall is that Claypool was supposed to run a slant here. That slant flat, that dragon concept they call it, is pretty common, especially on these RPOs, to make that quick decision. So my guess is Claypool should have kept running across. Freiermuth is correct to go to the flat here. And then it's a good read overall by Pickett to hit Freiermuth on this play. But I think that's why this one looks a little bunched up, because it is. But I think that's because Claypool was sitting with the cornerback playing off. He thought he would just sit underneath, get a quick completion on that curl, and turn upfield for a couple of yards. So that's my guess. It's always hard to tell about miscommunication and when things go wrong like that. But that's my thought on the play. Next play, we're going to watch the tight end Zach Gentry go in motion. And we talked about this briefly in a previous video when I talked about, I think it was Canada versus Trubisky. The linebackers here are going to be bowed in the sense of they're not shifted towards the tight end on this play. They don't respond to that motion. And so you see the defensive backs here, the linebackers, whoever they are, I think it's a linebacker and a DB, they're bowed away from where the tight end is at. And that really kind of, begs the question of what coverage might you be seeing? Who's going to drop out here to cover this vacated area right here, away from where the defenders, the linebackers are at on this play. So that's probably one component here, and you see this linebacker drop out. And a nice job here by Pickett overall. Looks at trip sides. It's a 3-by-1 look. He's reading the trip sides first. Really nothing available, and then just uses his legs. He's decisive. He's not going to try to force the throw, and he's going to pick up the first down on third down. That was statistically probably the biggest and best thing I saw from Pickett. Was this team was so woeful on third down in the first half, and really this whole season. 1 of 6 in that first half of the Jets game. With Pickett in the game, they went 5 of 6 on third down and 1 of 1 on fourth down. That quarterback sneak we showed you guys earlier. So converting on possession downs makes you more efficient, more productive, obviously. And a nice job here by Pickett. Realize nothing's quite there. I'm going to use my legs, keep my eyes downfield as well until it's time to run, and then run, get out of bounds, and avoid the hit. Here it's an empty set with 2 receivers to the boundary and 3 to the field. This kind of trips bunch set here to the bottom. So often you're going to get a lot of free releases, not a lot of rerouting and press, because of the way this bunch is structured with the point man and the other 2 eligibles here. And so going through this play, we're going to watch Pickett hit George Pickens on that little speed out. And it's a good read here. It's 2nd and 9, as you guys will see here. And trying to get this offense into more third manageable, maybe field goal range. Want to put yourself in that situation. So this 3-man spacing concept here with Chase Claypool on this snag or curl route, and then Gentry this over the ball kind of hank concept, and Pickens on the speed out. And I think what the pre-snap read here is watching the safety. The safety here, despite this cornerback being rolled up and kind of clouded, is the safety's nowhere near the numbers. He's on the hash. And so that probably means you're going to get, quarters to the side with this safety taking 1/4 of the field and the cornerback to the bottom defending this bottom quarter of the field, especially to the open, to the field side. And so that's going to create that free access on that speed out underneath. And so you see this quarterback playing off, driving on the route, not giving them necessarily totally, 20 yards off the ball, off coverage on this play, but still more than enough for Pickett to make this throw and allowing George Pickens to do the rest here and get some decent yak on this play to put them in a more third and manageable situation. So again, pre-snap reads here, watching this field safety on the hash, this quarterback playing off, reading that three-level concept, the overhang player on the snag route on Claypool, and so Pickett's going to hit Pickens in the flat and get a couple yards here. Nice job by Pickens to get that yak and put them in about 3rd and 3, I think it was on this play. So one last look from the end zone view and move on to the next play. And the very next play is the play after that Pickens catch. This is going to be 3rd and 4, and this is a real chess match between a veteran safety and Jordan Whitehead, number 3, versus Kenny Pickett and the Steelers offense. The Jets' personality is a lot of zone and 4-man rushes on early downs. On 3rd down, they're going to go sim pressure, they're going to go man coverage, and then they will eventually bring people as well. And so typically whenever you're seeing that sim pressure look, which is what you're getting here, these guys walked up into the A-gaps, you're going to get a fair amount of man coverage. And I think Pickett's able to read that and see that and know that coming into the game, that's the Jets' personality overall. And isolate again, 3-by-1 here, hit the backside receiver, Pickens as the X, one-on-one with the corner with a great back shoulder throw and a fantastic catch by George Pickens. A man coverage here, a man turn by this corner, so he can't read and react to that back shoulder throw. He's late to it, and Pickens makes a really good grab overall. I want to watch this play from the end zone view because it shows the play a couple seconds before it does from the aerial angle, and we're going to watch these linebackers up in the A-gap here. And I'm pretty sure the play clock was below, I think it's 25 seconds whenever the headset gets turned off. But watch Pickett here. This feels a little college ball where you're looking to the sideline for a call. I'm not against that necessarily. I just think it's kind of interesting to see. You're seeing Pickett look pretty heavily to the sideline here for some information, it appears, about how to handle the situation. But just watch the also the cat and mouse game that gets played between Pickett and the Steelers offense versus number 3 veteran safety, I think a Pitt product as well, or from the area, Jordan Whitehead. And you're going to see him walk up, and then he's going to bail back, and then on the snap of the football, he's going to drop back down. We'll look at that from the aerial view again. But Pickett overall taking command, making whatever changes. It looks like maybe the coaching staff. I don't know who that would be because Matt Canada's upstairs, but it could be quarterbacks coach Mike Sullivan, could be Mike Tomlin. Not quite sure, but just watching that pre-snap chess match. But bottom line is, you're getting that sim pressure look. It means you're probably going to get man coverage and taking advantage of that one-on-one opportunity on the backside. Watching that safety here be the single high player. He's not going to be a factor on this back shoulder throw to the bottom, and then allowing your guy to make a play. Something this offense probably did not do enough of the first couple weeks of the season. Allow your guy to make a play, and here George Pickens makes a play. Now, I'm going through these plays chronologically. I have not broken them up into good plays versus bad plays. This one, not Pickett's best play. It's a little hard to know exactly what went wrong. I think Pittsburgh might have gone with some tempo here, or the Jets are trying to sub, but another RPO that Pittsburgh's running, and this one just has a lot of errors with it. If you're going to throw the ball in an RPO, the ball has to come out really quickly because the offensive line, they're run blocking downfield. They're going to get to the second level, and if you're 1 yard past the line, you're going to get called for ineligible man downfield, and the NFL has really seemed to crack down on that this year. So if you're going to throw the football, that's fine, but the ball has to come out really quickly, and I'm not really sure what Pickett's reading or trying to do on this play, and they get called for the ineligible man downfield penalty on this play, which backs them up 5 yards. And also what I'm seeing on this play is no sort of fake either. So, I mean, RPO doesn't always have to have a fake if you're going to throw the ball like incredibly quickly, where it's a quick bubble or screen pass or something in the flat, but no fake here. Linebackers are getting depth, and I'm not really sure what Pickett's trying to see on this play, because if you're going to throw the ball, that ball has to come out, basically immediately, and so that cost Pittsburgh here. So I'm not really sure what happened, but not the way that Pittsburgh wanted it. Easily Pickett's best rep in play of the day, 3rd and 8 here at the 20, so trying to get points. It's a 13-10 game. You much rather, of course, get the touchdown than kick the field goal, make it a 2-possession game. And this is a very similar throw to what Pickett had against Jacksonville. I'll put up a clip of that here after I talk about this play, but this play reminds me so much of the Jacksonville game in the preseason where you're facing pressure, You're standing down the barrel of a rush. You know you're going to get hit. Stand tall, take a hit, make a play. You're going to get hit no matter what, so you might as well make the play while you're at it. And a nice job here by Pickett to hit Frymouth down the seam despite big number 95 barreling down and really hitting him hard. I don't want to focus too much on the protection and what went wrong on this play. Obviously something went terribly wrong for the D tackle to come in free like that. I believe that Kevin Dotson should be sliding down this play, but I have not investigated it enough to really make that determination. But more to the point, again, Pickett making that throw on third down to move the sticks to set up a touchdown. A really fantastic play overall. So one last look here. Kenny Pickett's second rushing touchdown of the game, a read option here with the option to throw the ball into the flat as well. So really three options for Pickett on this play. He can hand the ball off to Najee Harris. He can throw it to Pat Frymouth in the flat, or he can, as he does, carry the ball into the end zone himself. And so on this play, reading this unblocked defender, he takes the flat, he takes Frymouth. You cannot throw the football, and so Pickett smartly decides to run. I'm a little curious why he cut back on this play. It feels like he has a pretty clear path into the end zone, but he did cut this one back and took a couple shots as well, but gets in the end zone, and that's all that really matters. So good decision here. Pickett being decisive, not trying to do too much, take what the defense is giving him, and making a play. First and 10, fourth quarter, you're going to watch Deontay Johnson in motion come across, getting zone coverage, nobody else following, and so it's a pretty clear indication of man versus zone on this play, and the Matt Canada favorite, the half roll to the right into the flat. They have a couple different variations of it, but here this is a smash concept with Johnson into the flat and Pickens running the corner route, the 7 route behind, and Pickett just reading the cornerback here. He's going to get a little bit of depth here on the snap of the football, open up his hips. Doesn't necessarily carry this number one route here by Pickens the whole way, but still enough room for Pickett to make that quick throw. That first read is always going to be into the flat, and Deontay Johnson with some decent yak as well to get this team going and on schedule on first down. The only thing I would note on this play is the ball placement can be better here. Johnson has to reach back for it. That is going to limit yak on this play, and so you want to see that one out in front so he can have a little better chance at a run after opportunity. So small thing, but the ball placement on this play is not good enough. Watching Johnson here having to reach back and turn his body, kind of slow up for it. I do want to say that I did not like that on this play. Again, just watching this one a bit behind, ball placement could be better. First and 10 play action, and nothing really opening up for Pickett, but I felt like he bailed on the pocket a bit too early on this play, and he's a mobile guy, and he can use his legs, and that's an important thing to have, but whenever you leave the pocket, you cut down half the field, your offensive line can't block anymore because defenders have angles, and you really just kind of start that clock on when that ball has to be thrown away and make that decision. And I know there's a little bit of pressure here from the right side with a core 4, but I feel like Pickett can hang in that pocket and see if anything else can develop here. This is overall pretty clean. I think he feels that a little bit, and I guess I get that, but I feel like overall he kind of bails on this pocket a bit too early. He does a great job to keep his eyes downfield. Not sure where Deontay is going. I guess maybe for a cross-body throw, but generally you want to run with the quarterback and try to find a soft spot, find grass to where the quarterback is going. So nothing really opens up for him, and he does take off. So it's not a wholly negative play here overall, but I felt like Pickett was a little quick to leave the pocket on this play. Third and 3, and possession downs, name of the game for the Steelers offense, and Pickett overall really effective, really efficient, and just flat out move the chains on most of his third down situations. And so, again, we're seeing the Jets dial up some potential, some pressure. They walk those linebackers up into those A-gaps, and again, that generally means that it's going to be man coverage behind their zone coverage team on early downs, where they're not showing pressure looks, going to just rush forward and run twists and games and stunts up front and play coverage behind it on third down. And when they show those more aggressive pre-snap looks, very often do you get some variation of cover 1, whether that's straight cover 1 or cover 1 lurk, where you're going to get a robber underneath plus your deep safety. On this example here, they do drop out the linebackers here, but it is man coverage from the secondary on this play. And a really nice job here by placement by Kenny Pickett on this slot fade, what the Steelers call a chop route to George Pickens. So the slant underneath, the chop route, the slot fade over the top there, and good placement, another back shoulder throw from Kenny Pickett to George Pickens. So knowing you're going to get man coverage, again, let your player make a play. He does that on this play, and we'll look at it from the end zone view as well. Again, they're going to walk up the linebackers or DBs or whoever they are on this play into those A gaps. It's not a hot read throw. Pittsburgh has enough blockers to block the 6 potential rushers on this play, and so it's not necessarily a hot read, but knowing going to get man coverage here, it is well blocked overall and good placement, allowing Pickens to make a play. Just a brief note here, I don't really know exactly who to blame, and that's probably a question that only the Steelers themselves could really answer, the players and the coaches, but this toss here, just not quite right to Jaylen Warren. Luckily, was not a turnover, but I don't know if that's more on Warren. I think he talked about after the game his angle has to be a bit better overall. I don't know if Pickett could have improved that pitch at all. It's not a terrible pitch, but it does feel a little bit low, just a bit disjointed overall, and if you're off a little bit, then these things can happen when you're dealing with rookie to rookie on this play, Pickett to Warren. So I don't really know if that's more on Pickett or on Warren, or probably a bit of both, but it was a negative play here. All right, last play we're going to look at, and it is Kenny Pickett's second interception, the one intended for Pat Freiermuth, and we're going to get 3-by-1, bunched to the bottom to the field side on this play, and we're going to run this one through. And what I don't like from Pickett here, I don't like the overall decision to throw it. You could argue that, hey, hit Pat Freiermuth in the hands, and if it hits you in the hands, the old adage is you better make that catch. But I think Pickett's pocket presence, and you're probably picking up on that right now watching the all-22 view, is not good on this play from Kenny Pickett. This is overall a clean pocket, just a 4-man rush here, and you're going to see Pickett get to a spot, which is about, let's call it the 45 and a half yard line, and then just continue to drift back, ends up throwing this one from the 50. I mean, he's really far back on this play. There was no need to do that. And whenever you're drifting back and throwing like that under some pressure now that you've created for yourself, it's going to create some problems in the NFL. So do get that mug look here initially. They do drop out of it. But overall, Pickett needs to step and hitch up into this pocket. There's no reason to, get so much depth here. And really, whenever you get that much depth as a quarterback, there's what's known as the junction point, that the spot and landmark where the defender will start to turn upfield to the quarterback, and the more depth you get, the harder it is for the offensive tackle to basically maintain that junction point. And whenever you're doing that, what Dan Moore's doing here is thinking Kenny Pickett should be about here, where he can step up and Moore can ride past the defensive lineman, push him upfield, and allow Pickett to keep that clean pocket and navigate within it. When you're moving back like this, there's no way the tackle can block that, because the defender now has a much easier angle to go around as opposed to going through, and that's what happens here, and Pickett really creates that pressure for himself on both sides and throws that floater to Freiermuth that, could have been caught, but just not worth it. I mean, it just is, I think, a bad pocket awareness, pocket movement, and not a great decision to throw the football either, but I think the movement is a lot worse in this play than the actual throw itself. And Kenny Pickett is quickly finding out that what happens in the NFL is tip passes often result in interceptions. Both of his interceptions, excluding the Hail Mary, came off of tip passes, the one to Claypool, the one to Freiermuth. And so in college, those guys may not have closed as quickly, may not have caught as many of those plays, may not have been quite as opportunistic, but it's a different ballgame in the NFL. These guys can catch. And again, I think there was some panic on this play from Kenny Pickett. His pocket movement awareness not good enough, and it results in a pretty costly interception. So while I'm still going through the all-22 and probably some more work for me to do, I think some of the pros from Kenny Pickett in this game, overall reading coverage as well, understanding what he was getting, what he was seeing, and not really being confused by a lot of coverages overall. Maybe that last play, they ran some late rotation there, possibly threw Pickett off as well, but I think generally speaking, he read coverage as well. He communicated well. There was a lot of pre-snap communication. He felt calm and poised pre-snap and didn't seem like he had that deer in the headlights kind of look. The overall toughness that he showed, that throw to Freiermuth, again, great decision there and great toughness to stand tall in the pocket and make a strong, accurate throw under siege. And then just having trust in his guys to make plays, allowing George Pickens to make plays, allowing Pat Freiermuth to make plays, trust that his teammates, his guys, will get the job done, will make plays, and by and large, they did in the second half of that game. In terms of the negatives overall, pocket movement, pocket awareness needs some work. Again, the one play action play that we showed, he bails probably too early, certainly on the interception. That's a situation where the pocket awareness and movement was really poor on that play. Has to step up. Not everything can be just rolling and bailing and things like that. So that was stuff that happened in college a little bit, and certainly still carrying over to the NFL. And then just more minorly, I would say ball placement on the move. Again, that throw to Deontay Johnson in the flat, a bit behind. Even the corner out to Frymouth. I mean, it was pretty accurate, but Frymouth did have to dive for it, and there was no chance for Yak on that play either. So, I mean, it wasn't, I wouldn't put that as an extreme negative, but it could be a bit better overall. So just the theme of on the move, on some of those half rolls and boots, to be a bit better in terms of the ball placement, either a little too far out in front or a little too far behind. Those were some more, again, minor issues in this game. So, what are my overall thoughts on Kenny Pickett? Overall, I was encouraged by his play. I think there was more good than bad. Certainly, what he did situationally was really critical on third down. That cannot be stated enough. And quite frankly, he produced. He put points on the board, which is what your job overall is as a quarterback. There are things to clean up, things to get better on. That'll come with time. There will be highs and lows over the season. Don't overreact one way or the other to what Kenny Pickett does week 5 against the Buffalo Bills. I know Mike Tomlin has yet to officially announce a starter, but I would be floored and shocked if Kenny Pickett was not this team starter in week 5 and for the remainder of the 2022 season. So we'll be watching Kenny Pickett a lot. It is exciting. I can't wait to see what this guy can do. Again, there'll be good days, there'll be bad days. You want to take the season as a totality and as a whole, not just on one play or one drive or one game or even 2 games. You want to just watch the whole season, see continued progression. That's what he's shown so far, and hopefully what he continues to show going forward. So that will wrap up today's video. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I certainly would appreciate that. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.